You are listening to the Mohua Show, where it's all about celebrating the Junoon among changemakers and their journey.
I want new ways of thinking of man and woman relationship where either of us are not feeling claustrophobic because of the patriarchy and the internalized misogyny that women actually have towards themselves and the other. I wouldn't be able to open my heart and fully blossom if there wasn't a man also in the thing of sharing that safety net that women sometimes often fail each other.
So, did the backlash to your Agra post make you question, the cost of doing bold, intimate cinema?
Let's understand that we have regressed so backward. That's not a political statement, or it's not. It is very evident to you. You are witnessing a country which is going backwards in many ways. Just that the female gaze is so much more empowering than a sexualized version of a man's gaze of authority. It's like how the authority will not completely take me over. We've made the whole male gaze, and again, if I'm answering this correctly, everybody likes to dress up for someone's gaze. Whether I'm doing it for my women friends, because I like it when my women friends come and like. I like to look at like other women. That things like that. Women can do a lot of damage as well. But at the same time, to reiterate my daughter's point of view is that men don't need the advocacy, women do on greater quarters.
What happens when an artist refuses to fit into the boxes that the world builds for her? So today we sit with Priyanka Bose, an actor who has moved from Gangor to Agra, from line to the wheel of time, always choosing roles that disturb, provoke, and demand honesty, which is never ever easy. So this conversation is really going to be about gaze, power, rebellion, and the cost of being unbounded in an industry that prefers women contained. And we know that. So welcome, Priyanka, in today's episode.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Priyanka, let's just begin with Kanu Bel's Agra that deals with claustrophobic masculinity. And I mean, it's all the time present around us.
Yes.
After living inside that world, what part of Indian manhood really do you think that we refuse to confront with absolute honesty?
I mean, at this point of time, when I have really managed to, secure some male relationships who are actually my very, very strong allies, and I don't have to play the game of who I am as a person, because I feel like the claustrophobia is that the conformity of who you should be as a woman and the generalization of like uh, that my emotions are manipulating a man's whatever to elicit empathy or anything. Those narratives are very old narratives. I want new ways of thinking of man and woman relationship where either of us are not feeling claustrophobic because of the patriarchy and the internalized misogyny that women actually have towards themselves and the other. It's like if I'm making any sense. So this is like
Absolutely.
I'm really trying to not analyze it because it's a lot, to just simply understand it, be a scientist when it comes to this kind of relationship. And the funny thing is, how much ever I say that I'm this feminist and whatever, and my soul needs expansion, but I have had the best adventures with my guy friends, or people I call brothers, who are also, and some of them have been amazing co-pilots, amazing co-partners. So a lot of these films wouldn't have been I wouldn't be able to open my heart and fully blossom into thing if there wasn't a man also in the thing of sharing that safety net that women sometimes often fail each other. And I have experienced both.
Me too.
Yes.
I agree with you there totally because this internalized misogyny, I mean, there's a long topic there,
My
which
God, it's something I really want to like really get, because I'm just like, I see the performance and I'm just like, am I the odd one? Like, so yeah, so I want to try and understand it so that I am educated, rather than it's, sounding like a villain.
No, you don't. Women like us don't sound like a villain. We're just showing a mirror, into things that probably need to be spoken, and it will get spoken. I know. I have tremendous faith in the new generation that's coming ahead of
Same. I
women
have
and women.
tremendous faith. I have
Same.
tremendous faith in them showing me the mirror of what is appropriation, what is okay, in professional, whether it's a woman representing you or the man representing you, and how are they talking to you and about you.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like you will not take away my hard earned work of my life and my dignity that is not given by you. So you have no right.
So, did the backlash to your Agra post make you question, the cost of doing bold, intimate cinema in a country that often refuses, to see women as an artistic subject rather than just objects, because we are so objectified in mainstream cinema, in mainstream music, in the entire entertainment industry. So, how? Tell us a little bit
It's
about that.
amazing, like because of a thing like Agra. First of all, let's not uh, let's understand that we have regressed so backward, and that's not a political statement, or it's not. It is very evident to you. You are witnessing a country which is going backwards in many ways. It's just so sad that people like us get these statements out. That's why I'm very particular about what I put out there, because they'll start scrutinizing people like me speaking up for a very unstructured system which doesn't support their artists at all. Okay, and then talking about sexuality, it becomes like a very
Yeah.
dangerous ground at the minute. And the thing is, artists shouldn't be scared. Someone like me shouldn't be scared to take risks like this. It's not even a risk. I wouldn't consider it twice in France or any other place. What my contract suggests is what the script I'm signing for, and who is the director as well, that I would know that at least it will become bring me tangible outcome. That's about it. For me, it's not a political statement in that way. For me, it's interesting to play the character, because this is the only way I have been able to subvert the gaze. And she's an older woman playing the whole dynamic. I'm playing the dynamic of like the older woman and the younger man, who essentially uses him as a tool for his her needs as well. So it's a very strong hold I have over the subject. So it's a very very strange time, because the whole craft and the nuance of the film or whatever and performances have, and then we didn't get the right say premiere or the release that we really desired, because it got clouded by what the movement became. So it's kind of disheartening, but at the same time there is this one scared person of me saying that patani, I don't know if this makes sense at this point of time. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't be. And I'm like, that shouldn't be my concern at all.
Yeah. As artists, one cannot. I mean, if you cannot speak the truth, yeah, agree.
Seen 5 years ago, my approach would be very different right now. Obviously, I have always been very selective with the work I take, and people cast me for a reason, because I understand the discipline and the rigor it takes for any artist to be in a film situation like this. So yeah, I was very consciously I took that step, and I had thankfully I had like support, because if you're not coming back home to hold yourself in a warm blanket, then all this doesn't matter.
Agree with you totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the fact that Agra was actually leaked, right? Online, So you called out the mentality of the men, who flooded you with sexualized comments. And it's very regular, Even for me, I've been called the R word, Rundy, actually, on one of my posts. And, for 2 minutes, you start wondering as to why they would write something like that for a very regular post, you know. So what did that moment really reveal to you about how Indian society still, you know, consumes women on screen? I mean, I'm not even an actor, I'm just a writer and a podcaster. So even with that, when I write on a subject that probably doesn't fit, you know, the entire gaze, I get called that. So I can't even begin to imagine how traumatic sometimes it can be. How do you deal with that?
I mean, I deal with it with a lot of vulnerability. There are days I have cried to bed and everything. And, and when I've shared that with my husband and I have to share that with my friends, sometimes I've also been very betrayed about, like, them not understanding why this affects me so much, is because I'm a human being, and things like that. And, I can't change that system. That system is too ingrained in unemployment and बेरोजगारी जिसको बोलते हैं, or poverty, or because I mean, I feel sad for that, and that is not my society. People calling each other Randi and things like that. That is not my my soul quest, and it's not my seek. It's not. I mean, it rattles me for a bit because I'm a sentient being, but at the same time, I'm pretty resilient in terms of saying that, यार मैं अभी रास्ते का कोई आएगा मुझे कुछ भी बोलेगा मैं मान लूंगी तो फिर प्रॉब्लम you know it's like right now they have access to Instagram and everything. Now I'm not putting
Yes.
any personal online because of reason. My husband slides into his DM and he gets like really crude emails as well, and then he shares that with me, and I've told him that it's a bit triggering, but he's like, don't worry about me. Like I got your back and everything. And end of the day, that's all that matters, really. That the people who have seen you pick up the pieces, of a destruction that you didn't cause because you were a working girl on set. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows the. I mean, you will only see my glory, and
Yeah. The
and
trajectory.
yeah, but nobody's really seeing what it's actually taken someone like me to and all the levels I've had to actually fight within myself and my home environment in that way. Yeah, no, I mean, and the thing is, no one cares, and I suppose that's something I just have to like deal with. Yeah.
So let's talk about Jugnuma. You know, the fable is a visually poetic but very emotionally brutal, right? So what did that film demand from you? You know, physically, psychologically, spiritually, and that other projects did not.
See, the thing is, the demand. I mean, when you get a script, you're reading the script a lot. You're reading it as I would read a storybook, and I would read it like Priyanka, and then sometimes the white noise around the script actually shows you, because the environment is then built, the world you're building, it's like physiologically where you are, what are your, like, the thought process and everything, and then there is an emotional graph. So that, as an actor, in preparation, it's like, first of all, I was doing this TV show called The Wheel of Time. After the first season, I mean, it was a very good win for me because financially we were struggling anyway. Because indie films don't cut it out, for anyone like me. So I was really hoping that whole OTT thing, and I got cast, and it was a really good year. Then COVID hit, and then we were like, I don't know what we're going to do with our lives anymore. But as soon as the 6 months gap got over, I got to be in the Jugnuma set, even though I had signed the film a year ago. So I was one of the first people Ram had, actually contacted for the film, and then I signed, and then COVID के 6 महीने बाद ही I was on set. So first of all, I was very grateful. Then to actually reflect by myself about the whole fragility of human life, right? So what I was feeling at that time to how I weaved it with the story and everything was pretty seamless, and that's how I like my process to be. That there's a common thread between me, the actor, and me, the character, and that's the breath. And as you do that, as you breathe into it, I've also been brought up in a cantonment area and everything, so there were partly memory, partly like thing, and also I was also dealing with the first realization that my father may not make it in this physical body anymore. And that was the last year we got a chance to even me sending him a gift. So it was all very cathartic, like it was intuitive, and that's the kind of intuition and emotional body work that I like to bring in as a presence, as the actor who is in preparation constantly, actually. So yeah, so that was that. And for me, it was just about being present and making the adjustments, but like because just after the Wheel of Time I came, so my language was a little different, my cadence was little different, so we just got those little like adjustments to be done. And then after that it was like really seamless. Like if you remember the last scene of Jugnuma of me, where he calls me at my parents' house, and Nandini seems very lost, and that's the listlessness and the lost is between this realm and the other. And she talks about it in the song as well, Nahi Harwa. So I brought in that kind of like little thing, because sometimes we always wonder what happens, where the uncertainty of like life in general, so the mysticism that yeah.
So you often describe yourself as unbounded, free, and yet the industry and society really tries to bind women constantly. I know that for sure. So where do you think you still feel bound? There must be spaces where you feel bound.
Paradox, the reason I write it is because I want to embody it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not unbounded and I'm not free. I'm not a free child of the universe. I wish I was. But I am very like life is teaching me. Sometimes the education is very harsh, in harsh temperatures or harsh like behaviors and things like that. And depending on what frequency I'm catching as well, it's like, oh, did I choose that or did it choose me? So that kind of like dichotomy always between the chaos and the order, and uh, there's an in between I struggle with sometimes, because it's either very chaos that I'm now sucked into, or it's very orderly, like I'm very strict and things like that. So it's in the in between nuance is sometimes I struggle with, and that's where I feel unbounded and free, is when I'm not judging the other, or the judgment is not on me. And so I'm on yeah, I mean, I'm in process, is what I can say.
It's ongoing, for all
Yeah,
of us. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about Gangor. Gangor was based on Mahashweta Devi's short story, a story that's rooted in caste exploitation and the violence, of the male gaze. So how did playing this role, change the way that you view the relationship, between the camera and the female body, especially in a country where the gaze, again, I'm coming back to gaze, is really predatory, if I may use the word, and not very empathetic. Um, we are constantly struggling with that.
Be empathetic and predatory. And I also question, I have also been a predator myself. I love objectifying men. I do.
I
And
agree with you so
it's
well. We all do.
just that the female gaze is so much more empowering, than a sexualized version of a man's gaze, of authority. It's like the that how the authority will not like completely take me over. So that's where I like to subvert. It's a game I play with myself. If you know what I'm saying. I find men to be very curious subjects, and I mean it in the best possible way. They're just so efficient with their needs and wants and everything, and women are just everything. Everything is everything.
I
So
agree.
you know, so I'm just like, wow, if we just progressively really understand that, we can have like a community of people who are holding each other in a big cuddle puddle. But it's all in my like, I mean, it's totally possible, but it's so funny. We've made the whole male gaze, and again, it's the if I'm answering this correctly, everybody likes to dress up for someone's gaze. Whether I'm doing it for my women friends, because I like it when my women friends come and like, you know, and I like to look at like other women saying, "Yeah, ye to acha," that things like that.
Of course, we always do
We
that
all do that, and I'm like,
all the
okay,
time.
this what is the good gaze and what is the bad gaze and everything. It's we are only talking about the strata of a certain strata of the society. If I'm but again, I'm generalizing this because of the lack of education, sometimes the lack of access
Mhm.
to conversations. I have the privilege of this conversation with you. You have the privilege of asking me the right questions. There's a whole, that's why I don't talk about sex or my preference of sex anymore so blatantly and carelessly, is because a lot of women do not have that kind of liberty to do so.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't want to be so careless about these things anymore. Does it answer?
Yeah, yeah, of course, it answers in multiple ways because there are so many other questions that come to my mind. And I have to reiterate what you said, that all of us objectify. So do I.
I
And
do.
yeah,
Like
I do too.
in the Wheel of Time, my character is very fun and joyful and everything. But if they would have continued the whole season 4, she actually, turns into a big predator herself, where she is bonding someone younger than her who's a boy, and it's statutory rape. So I feel like it's absolutely possible. It's just that men are just physically stronger,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. But women can do a lot of damage as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. Absolutely. I agree with you
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
But at the same time, to reiterate my daughter's point of view, is that men don't need the advocacy, women do,
Oh, yeah.
on greater quarters.
Definitely on much, much greater quarters. And that's something that I keep talking about, that, healed men and healed women will make the world a much, much more beautiful place. And
Oh,
I think
yes.
the conversation is just beginning right now, where we're talking about, uh,
I want action. I want to see it
yeah,
in, like,
yeah,
when I say hi to someone, I want to see it in that. I
yeah,
want to see respect, and I want to see love, and I want to
absolutely.
see honor. And
Yeah,
yes, because I'm a girl of honor.
yeah, agree. So tell me, while filming, did you get angry that the world had changed so little for the women that Gangor really represents? Because I was just coming back yesterday, from Bihar, and I know that, living in Bangalore, often I do not get access to some of the rural areas of our country where women, I know even today, Bihar, Bengal, Maharashtra, you name all the places, they're still struggling. So, and we know that there is oppression. So, what is your thoughts on that? Does it make you angry?
Yeah, yeah. I've been angry for so long.
Oh, me too.
She's been so angry for so long. But jokes apart, yeah, it is tiresome, no? Like,
Yeah,
we
it
come
is.
from the whole cultural baggage of being Bengali, the Devi, the goddess, and, that all that. So we are not. We're not treated like that at all. Like,
Yeah.
see our Eastern culture, for example. See the villages where koi pagla gayi hogi, like, she's throwing a little
Mhm.
tantrum. Jैसे इसकी शादी करा दो, and she's what, 13 years old and still happening.
Yeah.
Tamil Nadu, they're taking out the women's wombs and giving
Oh,
hysterectomy.
God.
But,
That
so
is,
it,
we've
it's like,
not spoken enough about it.
in the fields and things like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and this is all a patriarchy saying that religion is teaching you to worship this goddess or this one queen
Yeah.
and things like that. And I'm like, none of it has changed.
No, it's not.
No, in fact, it's become like it's gone back. Like
Yeah, I
our
think so too.
soul is like getting beaten every day,
Yeah.
and of course I could shred this to pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
if it were my if it my way, I mean that world. I'm sure me and some other. I mean, it can be as polarizing because Agra also. We are not condoning the misogyny or the patriarchy that's shown in the film. It's just shown in the film. I can't be the spokesperson
Yeah.
of उसको correct करने के लिए कौन है?
Correct.
मैं तो सिर्फ एक्टर हूँ भाई,
हम्म,
है ना?
हाँ, सिर्फ रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं और दिखा सकते हैं कि क्या सच्चाई है।
हाँ, बस वही कर सकती हूँ।
हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
उससे ज्यादा मुझसे एक्सपेक्ट ना किया जाए तो बेटर है, क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ इंसान हूँ।
So, when Agra leaked, the team, of course, lost revenue, and the art really lost dignity, So, what is it that, something that people really don't understand about how piracy directly destroys artists and not just films? I mean, everybody gets affected, yeah. Everybody who's been working on that, Priyanka.
सिस्टम यार, आई मीन यू कैन से कि ये डायरेक्टर है, इनकी इंडल्जेंट ये बिहेवियर है, हिज रेपुटेशन प्रोसीड्स व्हाटएवर, एंड बट ये पैशनेट फिल्म मेकर है, ये यूनिक वॉइस है इसकी व्हाटएवर, but there are actors who are running homes.
Yeah.
But there are other HODs who do not have decent toilets because the revenue doesn't, support. The producers haven't provided a safety net whatsoever. You're only going to a really decent place to at least sleep because you're executive producer, and I'm only talking about like, again, it's been quite a journey because the Wheel of Time treated me really well, and they really valued me as an artist. And over here you don't devalue yourself, but you're devalued in this process because you least expect is nutritious food and a safe place and a decent toilet for your HODs or your actresses.
So, do you really think that Indian audiences feel entitled, to consume art for free? And this is a topic that is like so close to my heart, because somewhere culturally we still undervalue the labor of artists. Because on a regular basis, I get requests, for people to appear, write, and they will never ever talk about the economics, or for a fee.
पहले तो I'll tell you a very romanticized version of this, because commerce and how much it does on the box office is honestly, I understand now. But before, like, when my father and parents were both working parents, they didn't have the bandwidth or the time ki after the kids are gone to school and everything, that we do family time, you know movie time. We didn't have the time. I bunked school and used to watch the films I wanted to watch. So those timings weren't allowed for us. We couldn't even like just we were just too tired, just working really hard. So my father, when he never retired that way, he was forced to retire because of his health. But he's just like, listen, I watch pirated films like this, and ek banda aata tha, and my brother used to say, your daughter's in the business. How can you watch pirated films? But that was that reality, which was quite endearing to actually understand, कि अगर Indian independent film और meaningful cinema को गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट नहीं मिलेगा, जैसे टाइमिंग नहीं मिलेगा, करेक्ट टाइमिंग नहीं मिलेगा, तो हम जैसे लोग मूवी कब देखेंगे? हम तो कामकाजी लोग हैं ना, हमारा तो 9 to 5, 9 to 9 होता है कभी कभी, है ना? तो then that, and which is the audience actually, the movie going audience, because I respect that 200, 300 that they have, and I'm just like, there should be a little system in place where, and that's how the producers will make the money back. If they make the money back, the revenue that they have given, वो अगर उनको मिल जाए तो वो फिर से वो जनरेट कर सकते हैं, एक और सिनेमा बना सकते हैं. तो उनको अगर अगर ये बिजनेस ही ऑब्वियसली बिजनेस है, तो ये मॉड्यूल तो इज टोटली वर्क्स ना. सिंपल, इजंट इट?
So let's just talk about the fact, Priyanka, that you've worked across India and globally. So let's just ask you very directly: does talent really matter, in Indian cinema, or let's talk about the much used word of nepotism, still the biggest currency in our country? And have you ever lost a role to nepotism or influence?
I'm also losing roles for the Instagram following that I don't have. And these are very good roles, and it's different that I have walked out of roles also where I don't feel respected, recently. But very recently, it's I lost a very, very good, very I mean, it's complicated, yes, because I have to, end of the day, get strong and just keep smiling and just move on to the next and whatever with grace. But that grace also comes with a little bit of beating, saying that I was perfect for this. And the only reason this makes is because of the makers knowing the other person very better. It's not like we are better talent or whatever, it was the right talent. And so I feel like connection matters. And and the thing is, if I don't have to put anyone on a pedestal or conform to anything which just devalues me as a human being, I feel like that room is not for me. So उतना हम पीपल प्लीजिंग करने में मतलब थोड़ी सी शर्म आती है मुझे. But the thing is, it's true. I know I'm talented. I know I can hold myself with say 5 of my other peers, and I know I do not lack any skill at all. I just need the opportunity. And I feel like sometimes I just have to make do with the breadcrumbs that's offered to me because of the fact that I do not have the industry support.
So as a woman, do you think it's harder, especially, for roles?
Yes, of course, for women, it's way harder. Women were telling me, actually, at 23, 24, when I started like knocking on doors saying that, I really want to work with you, and things saying that, nahi, ab to accept kar lo ki this is it. You'll never be an actress. These were like proper women telling me this. Yeah.
You've also very openly spoken about depression. So what is that one truth about depression in artists that the world refuses to acknowledge because it is inconvenient? And I do suffer also, with a whole lot of mental
For
trauma.
a woman more.
Yeah. So how has it been now that you've opened up? And I mean, to acknowledge this,
I'm opening up, but I want to do it in the best possible way, because I want a safe place for people to understand that it's a human issue right now. The kind of and there's no reason for us to not have this kind of safe space, because the world is going through so much shift. And if you have a little bit of humanity left inside of you, you're being affected.
Yes.
And I feel like anxiety, depression, um, and right now the whole 40s space, the panic attacks I'm getting, and I'm really like, trying to adorn myself every now and then to just force myself to go out and socialize, because there are people who care about me, who love me, and I love them. And I'm just like, if I don't have that, I feel like, and of course people disappoint you along the way, because what they're expecting out of you, the same isn't reciprocated. And um, and 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 those are very real human issues. And for someone who's sensitive, and as I'm opening up, you'll be surprised how many people resonate
Yeah.
and how many people tell me that I'm inspiring them. And the thing is, my intention is not to inspire anybody. My intention is to take the shame that I feel about having a really, really bad week and that I do not have anyone to talk to. Sometimes, yeah, because I don't know, socially or whatever, that women are not allowed to fail. We are always, the one responsible for the harmony. Uh, but also, seeking work opportunities, also want people to like us, also like
Yeah.
it's a lot. And then one day you realize that, you also live once. So I'm just like, with whatever dignity I have left, I'm going to live my best life and stop explaining that to anybody.
Yeah. It's a long journey. It isn't easy.
It's
It
a
took me
long
very
journey.
long. It,
Internal
yeah,
now,
yeah,
the
yeah.
internal world has to be really strong and rich
Yeah.
to
And it
like.
comes with a lot of tribulations. It just, you don't arrive at it that easily. So you've also said that, people at home did not see art as very positive, it was negative. And I relate to it because, in most Bengali homes, and you're Bengali and I'm Bengali too, we learn music, we learn theater, we learn all of that as a hobby. You are encouraged to do
Or
things.
Bengalis,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And I think it's across India. It's not just Bengalis, but of course, every Bengali, most middle class Bengali homes, you're encouraged to learn a certain kind of art while you're growing up, but that's just on the side.
And I
And
tell you why. Yes, I'm so sorry to interrupt you because let me tell you, because first I used to feel so bad and be in my child space always saying that I wish, like, only because of the nepotism, right? It's like I wish my parents supported me. And the thing is, it's never the truth. They didn't have the resources. That's a different
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But it's never the truth that they never supported me. The truth is that because of fear and a little cultural baggage, and my parents are both educationists, so for them, that pressure of like, jo bhi karna hai, straight A's lana hai was a big thing.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I mean that's a very Bengali thing. Then from there, tumi to you could have been a lawyer and so many things, and
Mhm.
to completely shift, saying that it's your fault that you introduced me to a lot of world cinema, because that's what I want to do. I want to just open myself out to that craft, saying that what and this is all fear, saying that but I can't help you
Yeah.
my father telling me, saying that I could have guided you for engineering and doctor and being a lawyer and all of that and open those doors for you.
Mhm.
Can't help you here. It's all fear.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know what I'm saying? And the lack of resources is that they couldn't send me to, say, acting school, because, first of all, you come to Bombay and you make your own acceptance, saying that you don't come from the family that's the
yeah.
family business, supposedly.
Mhm.
Back in the day, it was like even harder for us. And now, at least with whatever I have done a good body of work, and people who get it, and there's a larger number of people who actually get it. And so now I have given up on the thing and said, but yes, culturally it was like,
Yeah.
me can sing, can dance,
Mhm.
can hold a conversation, can definitely cook. So, I'm
Yeah.
going to keep it koto সংসারী. Like, it was
I'm sure.
like, it's a cultural thing. It
It is
is.
a cultural thing, yeah. So my parents made me learn shitar, but then at the end of the day, they wanted me to go into IIT, and I was very bad with math,
Yeah.
And my father made me watch world cinema. I don't think I was allowed to really watch mainstream Hindi cinema when I was growing up.
Very long time.
Very, very long time, and it's only that the only introduction I think for me for cinema was, really the parallel cinema that we watched,
Parallel cinema was
Yeah,
ruling our lives. I
lives, yeah.
remember when I saw Sridevi, I was much older, and I
Mhm.
was like, my world changed. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And my father would sneer if I did any of that. So I wasn't really,
God,
I
you
get
were
that.
like, I mean, like that whole, हम बहुत culturally
Yeah,
इवोकेटिव है लिबरल्स हैं, पर उसको चुप रहेंगे
हाँ,
उसके बारे में हम
उसके बारे चुप रहेंगे और जिंदगी में वो सारे चॉइसेस नहीं ले सकते हो।
नहीं नहीं कहाँ एंड
हाँ, बक्सा में वापस आ जाओ।
हाँ तो वो एंड आई एम लाइक वाओ दैट्स interesting. I find that very interesting.
But Priyanka, you've like gone international. You know, Lion and the Wheel of Time has put you on an international stage. I mean, which is amazing. So, what does the West really still misunderstand about Indian? I hate to say this, but women actors. You know, and what is it that we are complicit? You know, in reinforcing to the international audience?
I feel like, I mean, it's world over, isn't it? Whether you are brown or any other color, I normally struggle with and I encourage the writers to start being courageous about writing for women. They say they want a strong woman, but they necessarily don't know how to write for a strong woman. And I mean, I'm seeing a lot has changed in the past 5 years, and especially because of the OTT, because the whole femme aspect of many things has broken. That
Yes.
code has broken. A lot of women look like you and me, like really like in different quarters. We're different kinds of women. There's such diversity in India, which has been explored because of the OTT. And I feel like Western is no different. Sometimes I'm very modern for a Western audition
Yes.
and they want me more Indian. And I find that a little like, oh, uh, uh, it's a again it's a and someone from LA would get it, and I'm like, oh, so it's still a little uh, um, I can't decode that. I cannot
There's a
again.
stereotype. Would you say that there's a
Yeah,
stereotype, right?
the stereotype. So I feel like the stereotype exists everywhere, and of course, for brown women, there are a little bit more opportunities at the moment, and I see a lot of us have done so much,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
truly.
Netflix is actually providing a
Yeah.
lot of these interesting
Mhm.
ways that uh, brown female actors are exploring genres now. It's
Mhm.
not only just one type, because again, to say poverty porn or whatever, I cannot. Again, only a lot of intellectual, educated fools will say poverty porn, but it's again a reality of like a marginalized community that I'm showing out there, and it's paying my bills, honestly. So I have no, thing calling it anything else other than.
Well, I've heard people talk about Satyajit Ray's Pathir Panchali and also calling that poverty porn. So I mean, I'm speechless. I generally don't indulge in conversations with people like that.
I
So
don't, and I cannot, because
same
it's
here.
it's really mind numbing for
It's mind
someone
numbing.
like me. It's like,
Absolutely.
and then immediately I know where they come from and
Yeah.
how privileged they have been,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you will never get it, and of course at this point, like I want studio backup, you know, because independent cinema is not taking care of me,
Hmm.
so it's given me
It's
the
so
name.
difficult, independent cinema, to get even like a hall launch is like so tough.
Very difficult.
It's extremely difficult. So now when you look back, at the filmography, Lion, Mortal, The Wheel of Time, Jugnuma, Agra, what is the rebellion, that runs through all the choices that you've taken, Priyanka, till today? I mean, the choices you made.
Yeah, again, I don't want to, box it as a rebellion. Like it's my inner, strength. Sometimes I get from my mother. She's the one who actually is the force behind right now, saying that, when I go through my little emotional time and I'm struggling, she's the one who reminds me, saying that, you have to understand that you made it on your own, and that in itself was a big thing. It said you created this by yourself, Yes, opportunities you lacked, but look how far you've come. So she reminds me every now and then, look how far I've come. And then I look at, my daughter, and I look at, what I've created, and I'm reassured. I'm in a process of reassuring myself. I think I am a very defiant person. It's just something that doesn't leave my system, and I want to embrace it, and I don't want to, because that's given me the drive all this time. And but at the same time, I have learned to keep quiet and choose my battles, and not everything is my responsibility to fix or or support. I can provide safety, saying that, but that's also very tricky sometimes, because women believing other women also is very tricky, because it's very, again, coming from bias sometimes. So I'm just really trying to, like, just listen and not react. But I have a long way to go. But yeah, my inner rebellion has at least let me dig deeper inside of my system without really craving validation. I crave solidarity rather than validation. I crave support. I crave real friendships. I crave tenderness, in compassion. And yeah, and I wouldn't have it any less. So yeah, that makes me a very defined person.
Join the gang. We are all sailing the same boat. And a quick rapid fire with you. One role that changed you forever.
Ooh, I feel like that's a very hard one.
Okay. A performance of yours people misunderstood.
I feel like Gangor, it was my first protagonist film. And notes from other actors also put me off them a lot, because a lot of my co-actors actually said that they exploited you, because I'm so glamorous and sexy, and things like that. That was kind of like misunderstood. And because I understood then immediately where they were coming from, and it was a lot of jealousy and weirdness. And I'm just like, you know what, again, it's paying my bills. I may not it may not be a very strong film, but it meant something for me to be on that international platform with my poster all over that carpet, with my face on it.
Congratulations, Priyanka.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Thank
one
you.
honest critique in your life. Who's your most honest critique?
My daughter. Yeah, extremely. Like, she's a very specific soul, and she'll ask me straight up.
One
Why?
word to describe the industry right now.
Uh, Saturated.
What's next for Priyanka?
I wish I knew. I mean, I'm reading things, but nothing is really aligning at the moment. So I'm enjoying my time at home. I'm reading, I'm writing, and meeting people, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just, I have an open mind, and yeah, if you have something real for me, uh, we can talk. That's it.
So, thank you for all our listeners for this powerful episode with Priyanka Bose. If you've enjoyed it, follow, rate, and leave a review for the Mohua Show. It helps us bring more fearless conversations for you from us. Thank you, Priyanka, for being on today's episode.
Thank you.